everybody, Chris here. Are we starting to see the emergence of a Dogecoin Supertrend? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And we have been watching crypto market reaction to Trump tariffs, the economy, and all of that. And I know prices are somewhat depressed and a lot lower than where many of us think they should be. A lot of bears still out there looking at recession possibly coming and lower prices. Overall, though, this is all part of what we have seen before. This has happened in history. It's happened in the past. Similar kinds of price movements. And when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, you start to see the trends. The trends are emerging. Let's take a look at it. Let me show you the charts in the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart, and we are right around 17 cents. That's right. We had failed to hold 17.8 as support, and now the next line, 16.4 to 17.8, bounce around in that area. I'll show you that on the chart again as well. This is short term, though. This is all short term, dealing with the uncertainty in the markets over recession, inflation, tariffs, how all of this is going to work out. The volatility in the market is tough for Dogecoin to overcome, but it is not just Dogecoin. Bitcoin also having a severe dump early this morning, coming all the way down to 81.9. That's right, it did break 82,000 underneath its support line as well. And we see that across the crypto market. So some weakness there. And with that weakness, as I called out this morning on X, that means, well, there was a lot of liquidations. That's right. This is what happens in this sort of uncertain market. The market makers can take out leveraged longs, and we saw hundreds of millions of dollars taken out, particularly on Bitcoin, with the big drop this morning, taking out big leverage. I know there's big shorts up here, hundreds of $1 million up there. It's just easier for them to drop the prices now, take care of these long leverage trades. We'll get to those at another time. That's probably what is going on. And then, of course, as I pointed out also, you can follow me at ChrisPax on X here. Dogecoin right back to where we were a week ago before the breakout. We had a taste at 20 cents. Now back to the sideways range between 16 and 18. More volatility to come next week for Doge and Bitcoin with the ongoing tariff war. So we had broken out of that triangle. We were seeing all of these higher lows until all of this came down with all of the new tariffs and all of the uncertainty over the past few days. The PCE numbers weren't quite where we wanted to see them, so uncertainty still overall in the economy. And as we talked about, looks like crypto is starting to trade more and more like the other equity markets and may lose some of that overall 4-year cycle pattern. We will see how that plays out. But for Dogecoin, down 14% in March. What does history predict in April? Next week, I will be giving my Dogecoin April price prediction. But for right now, again, there's the 3 potential scenarios that we had been talking about, and that is all still in play. We had previous April trends since 2021. Using TradingView data yields varied results. In April 2021, Dogecoin experienced the parabolic surge of 530%. That historic rally. April 22, Dogecoin closed the month with a 7% drop. 2023, we had a small 3% gain, but then in 2024, after we had a big jump in price in March, up 87% in March, Dogecoin had a 40% price correction down in April. So we will be looking at in next week's price prediction video about where that sets us up to for 2025. But right now, if historical patterns hold, any dip in April could be less severe than last year's correction, given there was no preceding parabolic spike like in March. So That is how we are seeing Dogecoin trade back and forth. And there is bearish momentum starting to wear out finally. We are seeing, for instance, our RSI, bullish divergence. So as price goes down, but the relative strength index goes up, that is bullish. Dogecoin's price finding its bottom, which could lead to a recovery soon. And these are the three scenarios that we were looking at the other day, seeing if 17.8 was going to hold as support. It did not. So we are in this kangaroo market area again between 17.8 and 16.4. If 16.4 does happen to break, then we are getting more back into bearish territory. Trader Tardigrade said, look, we've been here before. Zoom out. Look at the bigger picture. 4-year cycles, 2017, 2021, and here we are in 2025. 2024, 2025, we have seen large pullbacks. We saw large pullbacks before, though. And in fact, when you zoom out and you look at these lower numbers, these percentages that we had in the past of pullbacks are greater than these percentages at these higher prices. The percentages of pullbacks have been huge, particularly right in the middle of 2017. That was a huge pullback, and that was not in a bear market. That was still bull. And if we are following 2017, we could still have this second run. My expectation now, though, is we're not going to have the parabolic run that we had at the end of 2017, nor the parabolic run that we had in April of 2021. Instead, I envision this being a longer super trend that is starting to form that we will see with Dogecoin that is more similar to maybe how Bitcoin has been trading since 2022. The trend line had broken out, right? We had the downward trend. I know since the beginning of the year, Doge is down. We broke out of that trend. We just came back to retest it, though. So retesting the line, that is very typical. You would see that. And then we begin to break out. So that's the overall view of what's going on right now. What is going to cause Dogecoin to have these slow and steady gains going forward? We talked about Ethereum and how Ethereum is now it's 1830, right? So Ethereum continues to fall down, and particularly if we zoom out on ETH and we look at ETH versus Bitcoin, we continue to see ETH struggle and fall further and further and further against its Bitcoin pair. That is how ETH has been trading. At the same time, Dogecoin, much more volatile than ETH, makes great gains against Bitcoin when price goes up, loses that back, but overall, it is still steady with Bitcoin, despite the move up and the move down against Bitcoin, not falling off the cliff like ETH is doing. That is a good sign for Dogecoin and its trading pair with Bitcoin going forward. So that's why I believe we are going to see a much stronger super trend with Dogecoin going forward, keeping pace with Bitcoin. The other difference between Dogecoin and ETH is, well, we have mining. Dogecoin, mining, proof of work cryptocurrency. ETH no longer has the miners. That's why I think ETH has been falling off the cliff there. Dogecoin has not, because guess what's happening? Dogecoin mining is getting serious. And we've been talking about this, and my ideas about Dogecoin mining eventually becoming more profitable than Bitcoin, I think we're going to see that play out. It's a profitable alternative right now. Small businesses are cashing in, so it's not just solo miners, and joining big mining pools, but businesses as well are mining Dogecoin. That's right. People are actively buying machines, And there was this mining disrupt conference in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and talking to people there, although most of it was focused on Bitcoin mining, there was a lot of talk about Dogecoin and Litecoin mining, the proof of work mining that is merge mined. So you can be mining, script mining, and getting rewards in both Dogecoin and Litecoin at the same time. And having those smaller, cheaper miners than the Bitcoin miners can help maximize revenue, as well as smaller companies, which are like subsidiaries of largers, are starting to mine Dogecoin, as well as individual businesses are mining Dogecoin, a bigger cash cow for the company than Bitcoin mining for some of these smaller businesses. I think this is going to continue to grow. And what is going to do that? And how is the Dogecoin mining going to become more profitable? Well, we look at the House of Doge. We've been following the inception of the House of Doge, some of the ideas that they have. They are also helping to advertise on an Indy 500 car, get some marketing out there for Dogecoin, right? But they're also talking about the partnerships that are being created, as well as how they are going to be mining Dogecoin as well, creating their Dogecoin reserve, which they already bought a crap ton of Dogecoin, right? To begin that reserve to use Dogecoin as currency. And as that adoption grows, we're going to see more and more the use of Dogecoin. The mining of Doge is going to become more profitable. And as adoption grows with Dogecoin, I think we are going to see less of this big Dogecoin volatility as adoption grows, and it will change to more slow and steady growth. There will still be spikes, there still will be pullbacks, but again, overall, when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, I don't think we're going to be seeing this huge growth in Doge, not at that level. There will be some, though, and there will still be some immediate reactions to some of the news like Doge has always done. But overall, I think it's going to start to look more like Bitcoin when we zoom out and we look at how Bitcoin trades over a series of time, that we'll see possibly more of these slower and steady gains that we've seen with Bitcoin before. And that could become Dogecoin's future as well. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? I know you guys want these big green candles like we had back last November. We may not have that kind of move in Doge again, which I personally think it would be more healthy for Doge to have those slow and steady gains. But let me know what you think. Give the video a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.